with Lou Marconi and Johnny Cleveland, part of the Fanatical L's Network, fans first. Join us now. Good evening, Lou Marconi. This is Johnny Cleveland calling. How are
Johnny? Well, I'm as good as I can be, I guess. So kind of, I just retweeted our feed here on
good.
X.
Yes, join
let's
us on
see.
X,
Mhm.
YouTube, Facebook.
Yep. We're here. We're here to join you. We're the Fanatical Elves Network. All right. I am we had some Browns news today that's
Yes, we did.
not coaching related and not
You want to
game
talk about
related.
let's talk about that because that's like
You want to
that
talk
just
about the
happened.
stadium first?
Yeah,
It just happened at like 4:30 at 4:30
That's some
Eastern time
positive
today.
news.
It was well, not at the same time we had the Middle Eastern peace deal. We got a deal between the city of Cleveland and the Browns on what to do with that stadium. They said the Mayor Bibb agreed with the Haslam Sports Group to accept the $100 million in payments, okay, to help tear down and repurpose the old stadium spot and help with the lakefront development with 100 million, and they will drop all the lawsuits and the Browns can move to Brook Park.
Okay.
That's essentially what it was.
Okay.
The interesting thing was aftermath. I guess how this went down was Haslam reached out to Bibb and he invited him over to his house, and I guess they had Coke. They had a couple Cokes. They talked it over.
When you started that sentence, it sounded a little.
I said they had
some
yeah.
Coke. Oh wait,
so Cokes, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
That's what they said in the press
Diet
conference,
Coke,
which was funny.
Here
yeah,
we go.
You got Diet Coke or regular Coke. I'm not sure, but I thought it was interesting that it seems like Mayor Bibb acted unilaterally on this, but he said all the lawsuits would be dropped, even the one with ODOT Aviation for issuing the permits.
Yeah.
They were trying whatever they could. And I think what it was is that was a leverage play on his part to not be left empty-handed, to do something with they got to do something with it once they're gone. So it makes sense. And I don't blame him. I'd leverage whatever I could to get what I could because they were going to leave anyway. He knew he had nothing. So Haslam just probably sat him down and said, look, what do you need? Let's just stop this. This is dumb. We know it's not going to go anywhere. And Haslam's a businessman and he understands. So Bibb's not stupid. He's not.
Lou, I was talking on the post-game show, Ethan and I maybe were talking last night after the game, and I was saying, and I talked to I live here in Columbus, and I have and I've mentioned this to you already, probably on our show, but it's worth mentioning again. I mean, I'm in Columbus here. The Columbus Crew, the soccer team, is here. They're very popular. There are a lot of people who love the Columbus Crew, and the Haslams own the Columbus Crew, and people here love the Haslams. So, again, I know there's a lot of you out there who are Browns fans who loathe the Haslams, but it's really an interesting thing.
I don't. I think what they're doing is great.
Yes, no, and I do too. But it's interesting to hear others, not you and me, but there are a lot of people that we run into, I'm sure, that talk negatively about the Haslams, and I'm like, besides them making lots and lots of money, and here's the other thing, Lou, with what you're telling us now with this new deal, that basically says that the Haslams are even putting forth the 70 to 75% now of the cost of
75% of the cost of the stadium. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's even more than the 50-50.
Adam the Bull tweeted something. I love Daryl Ryder's reply. He said the child poverty rate in Cleveland's like over 45.3 or 45.6%. He goes, that's the highest in the U.S. And Daryl replied was like, well, after 2028, they will have to pay $0 towards that stadium. Cleveland will have to pay $0 towards the stadium, and they could use that money for something else. So it's like, well, I mean, I don't understand what he meant by bringing up the.
Well, Adam Bull is a freaking Bengals fan. So, I mean, he's from Cincinnati. He's not even a Browns fan. Why he's even, I am annoyed by the Bull being up there, talking crap. Yeah. He's one of these people again.
He's trying to pull the schools, the poverty, all this other stuff. It's a bigger stretch than when he scratches his nuts.
Well, and Garrett, what's the guy's name? Garrett Bush out there, the guy.
Bush, yeah.
I mean, he says a lot of crap too. I mean, his thing right
Is it
now.
about the stadium or just everything?
Well,
He's
everything.
all over the anti-fire Stefanski, and
Oh
I'm
yeah,
here. I
he's
see it all over the
big
place.
time, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
put in
dude, just
Shador, fire Stefanski, because
mm,
Shador wouldn't have done any better yesterday. He wouldn't
no,
have. He
no,
wouldn't have. No.
no. I agree, but the game, the Browns, just going back to the
You want to go
game.
back? You
It's
want to
yeah.
pivot
Let's
to the
go back
game
to the
now?
game for a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, we can finish up talking about the stadium. You want to? I mean, if there's anything
Well, I
else,
mean, it pretty much
what?
it's a done deal
Yeah.
now, and just that City Council hasn't reviewed it yet. The media knew before City Council knew in
Yeah.
Cleveland,
Explain that.
and
Explain what
and
you
he was on
heard from.
Channel 3, and he's like, he
Yeah.
goes, I was at 4:05, I got the call about the deal, and it was our media was already running with. I'm seeing stories about it, and he goes, we haven't even looked at it yet, and I guess there's some provisions that might have to be approved by council, but it might not be. Depends on what's in the deal itself, the actual
Okay.
legal language of it. So there's some things, there's some like I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed, but it seems to be
Okay.
more procedural. Chris Ronan, the Cuyahoga County executive, still says, I don't support the stadium. It's like, yeah, you don't have to, dude. You're
No.
on your own. I know.
Right.
So he thought it was a bad idea to move that stadium from downtown to Brook Park, and I beg to differ. So
Yeah.
I disagree with him on it. And that's pretty much it. It just seems like all the lawsuits and all the beats. It's like, okay, let's move.
They're going to
forward.
go away.
They're going to go away, and all the stories and all that. It's just kind of like the city's like, look, if you're going to leave, help us out. And the Haslam's like, I'll write out the check. What do you need?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it was.
That's, again, I wish people, people that are so anti-Haslams and so anti all of this, you could take a step back and just try to. I know the football team sucks right now, but just try to appreciate. I mean, like we talked about this before with Steve Gill the other day. Like and you and I have talked about this. The Indians were terrible for decades before they built Progressive Field or Jacobs.
It was
Field.
Jacobs Field when it first opened. Yep.
So
I remember people criticizing it. They hated Dick Jacobs. Dick Jacobs actually built that team from within when he bought the team in '86.
Yeah.
Investing in the minor league system.
Yes.
That's what he did. And it took like a decade for that because baseball, he really took the slow road to do it. But yeah, I remember when Major League came out in '89 and everybody was like, yeah, this will ever happen. We were laughing about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no, it's been an interesting day. That's the good news. The bad, I mean, the other part of this whole story is what's happening now with this team. And the game yesterday, we were in Pittsburgh. We lost again. We know that we lost.
Can I say something about that 22 game? They talk about 22 game regular season losing streak.
Do, because I've mentioned
we've beaten them there in the playoffs.
Yep.
We did. If you remember, that was the COVID year.
I'm wearing the T-shirt.
That was the COVID year.
That
was the COVID year. We didn't have our head coach, and we were missing 3 starting offensive linemen because of COVID. Okay, we had guys coming off the street playing on the line.
Yep.
In that game.
Yep.
The Steelers, we beat them the week before because they rested their starters, and that was in Cleveland. They were supposed to throttle us in that game, if you remember, right?
I do.
And it didn't happen. So, guys, all right, it's not a 22 game regular season that counts. They're acting like it doesn't count. Like the old championships the Browns won don't count, or nothing counted before the Super Bowls, or that just didn't count because it was COVID. Actually, Stefanski won Coach of the Year that year. He won Coach of the Year 2 years ago too.
Yeah. So
I'm just kind of thinking like, and he has a lot of respect throughout the whole NFL coaching. He does.
He does. Mike Tomlin tried to question that today with the whole Joe Flacco trade.
That was more Andrew Barry. Yeah.
Stefanski. Yeah. Mike
Tomlin's
an interesting character.
Him.
Yeah.
Fuck him. I mean, he didn't have really. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Give Flacco 2 more weeks in Cincinnati. You tell me. Yeah. I mean, he had a good game yesterday, but it wasn't good enough to beat the Packers.
Yeah.
And just give it a couple more weeks, and he becomes a turnover machine. Just watch.
Yeah, Cincinnati's not going anywhere. Pittsburgh obviously has the upper hand right now because we're all
they opened up against the Jets.
Right. Now we
have
played
the fucking Jets.
Lou, we have the Jets. We have
the Dolphins.
We have the Dolphins. We have all these teams. on our schedule.
New
So,
England's better than we thought they'd be. So
They
New England's
are.
playing good. That's not a gimme game at all. I think Mike Vrabel's done an excellent job there, and I always liked him as a coach. So are you trying to say that there's other winnable games? And I guarantee
you've said that too for weeks, and
Yeah.
I think there are winnable games. I guess we're at a point though, and I've talked about this a little bit again last night, and we're all kind of getting there a little bit. This is frustrating. I know it's not.
Of course.
You know, you're 1-5, and so
Of course.
the build up, especially today, people are just frustrated, and
Yeah.
they're trying to figure out what's going to happen next, and it's just depressing some fans. It's
Yeah.
you and I already have discussed this. We're fans. We're going to continue to be fans. But as far as what's happening right now on this team, Stefanski's 1-5. People are pointing out that Callahan got fired in Tennessee today with a similar 4-19 record over the last 2 seasons, similar
Right.
to what Stefanski has.
Right.
So the question then is, why are the Haslams why haven't they considered firing him? And maybe they are. Yeah.
Because he's been with the team for 5 years.
Yep.
This is his 6th season. He has 2 playoff seasons and a playoff win and 2 NFL Coach of the Year awards.
Yeah.
Brian Callahan didn't have that.
No.
That's 2 different things right there. Plus, if they do make a coaching change, they're not going to do it now.
Mhm.
They might wait. The earliest they'll do it is the bye. The latest they'll do it is when the season's over.
Yeah.
If they're going to make a change.
I mean, your sense right now, just personally watching this team and seeing like what they did yesterday, do you, with Stefanski, you still feel that he is safe completely, or winning?
No.
They have to win something.
They have to win something. They got to do better than 3-14, and they got to win. And he knows it. You could tell he knows the deal. He's been in the NFL. He understands that. I think that there's games to be won, and there are games they're going to win. Because I mark my words, and I was about to say this. Mark my words, they're going to start winning some games because these are winnable games coming up, and people are now going to start complaining. Well, now we're going to screw ourselves out of a draft pick. Mark my words. You heard it here.
Okay.
October 13th, Columbus Day, 2025.
Yes.
2 months from now, they'll be like, why do we win those games? Now we're not going to get we're going to go to the playoffs anyway. Why do we win those games? I guarantee you. I tell you what, I even said this because these people, they want to lose, but then they get mad when they lose. Let me say this. We, out of anybody in the NFL, we still opened up at home against Joe Burrow, and and people are that whole streak of not scoring 20 points. Schmidt makes his kicks. We score 20 points. We win that game.
Right.
So shut the fuck up. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing that.
Yeah.
That's just you going on Twitter and getting reaction.
Shout out to Schmitz, who's been 8 of 9 since that moment.
Yeah.
And has been really rock solid. So
he's been good. So he's a good kid. He had a bad day at the worst possible time. He hit that 55-yarder against Green Bay.
Yep.
All right. He hits those kicks. A couple things go our way against, and our defense shows up in the last drive, Minnesota. You saw a team that had to travel to London, then come back, and then go to Pittsburgh.
He hit 3 solid shots yesterday. So good job to Schmitz.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, great. Thank you. But you saw what I'm saying here. They're coming off their bye week.
Yep.
Fresh legs and all.
Yep.
They weren't putting up they weren't down 2 tackles during the game. We couldn't go back to the jumbo packages for max protections like they were able to do. Right. So, I mean, there's a lot of mitigating factors. Plus once you're down 17 points early in the fourth quarter, you got no fucking choice but to throw the ball. I mean, that's what happened. And it's like, well, I mean, but I do agree with people when they said that first and goal on the 3, I just said, hand it off to Judkins.
Right.
Just line up those guys and just push it in.
There sometimes, and that was another thing that people were
at least at the very least do play action. But the one time they went to play action, as soon as Gabriel turned around, there was a guy in his face. I mean, it was just like, I was just like, well, they're not going to go back to that. They're like, okay, fuck that didn't work.
Right.
So there's a lot. But I'm just saying, do I think Stefanski's safe for now?
Yeah.
But with a caveat, he has to win. I'm not saying, but I haven't heard anything from anybody else but the podcasters and the Twitter people that are beat writers that have sources within the team or national
Yeah.
writers. I'm not hearing about it. I mean, people saying he's on the hot seat are like your G. Bushes or people that are
I will say
podcasting.
this though. I will say that there is I talked to Steve Gilligan
Steve Gill.
earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
You
has
call him
some of the
Gilligan? Do you call him Gilligan?
Gilligan, no, Gill. Steve.
Oh,
He has
Steve
somebody.
Gill. Steve
I
Gill.
know, Steve
Yeah.
Gill. He does have somebody that he tells us that he is relying on, or he gets some
Oh, he has a
information
source?
from. He does.
Okay.
And to be
Okay.
honest, most of the time that Steve shares stuff that I've heard from
What he
him
can
directly,
share.
it's
Yeah.
pretty accurate. What he did say to me today was that the person, whoever it is, and I think he's got some position on the inside of the team, pretty at least, or maybe I don't know directly or indirectly, but um, the what you just said earlier about Stefanski, like basically he's safe, but if he doesn't win here, like he doesn't get a couple more wins, like against some of these teams that we've already mentioned,
We're
yeah,
supposed to be like
that seed is going to get really much warmer. It's really
right.
not too warm right now, but it is.
NFL stands
Yeah.
for not for long. I mean, we know that. So,
Right.
yeah.
But
yeah.
it is. I mean, the not scoring the points. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a struggle, and it's almost like when you're a golfer and you struggle or something that you don't do well, or it's a mental thing. That's where I get a little nervous with this team, because as the season goes on,
You think
it's
it's just
like,
going to screw with their heads?
right. Don't you think like there's got to be some game, and maybe it's coming up here, where they can just score a bunch of points,
Like
get
score like 28,
four,
like score
yeah,
28
or
or
like
something.
Atlanta scored three touchdowns in the first half, and just get it out of their system, and just so
Yeah.
then they can just sort of restart. Are you looking at the chat here?
Yeah. Do we have any?
We do.
Yeah.
Steve
Get
is
some chats
saying,
in here.
are you seeing the comments? Oh, hi, Steve. Seeing the comments in the X feed.
RX feed?
RX feed? Steve, tell us what you're referring to.
Yeah. Let
when
me
you get
see.
a minute. I haven't really
Well,
seen
let me
much.
take a
Now,
look.
Steve, hey, Steve, I hope you're having a nice vacation. Steve's been on vacation down in South Carolina
Steve,
for the last
yeah.
week
I
and a
talked to
half.
him today. I talked to him on the
Oh,
phone
good.
today.
There's
Yeah,
a gleam, Steve. There's a gleam.
There's a gleam. Yeah, because I'm gonna need him on the 24th to sit in for Posh.
Oh,
And
good.
I'm thinking Halloween. It's going to be the bye week, so it's
Oh,
Halloween night. So I might as well just
yeah.
take the bye week off. So we
Oh,
probably
that's
will
good.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll
So
be
hey,
good.
I'm just thinking that might be the best thing to do. And
Okay.
but anyway,
Hey, Lou, let's pause for a quick commercial, since we got a quick second here. This is Stirring the Pot with Lou Marconi and Johnny Cleveland. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back here, Stirring the Pot. I'm Johnny Cleveland, John Suchan also sometimes, and there's Lou Marconi.
Sometimes, AKA.
Yes.
Well, I don't see any comments on the X feed for this, but I'm seeing comments every.
Elves feed on X. Elves Network feed on X. Steve, what are some of the comments? Can you share one? Because I'm not seeing anything.
I'm not seeing anything. I'm looking at it now. I don't see it. But
well, yeah.
Are they talking about the stadium, or are they talking about? Yeah, and the thing was, it was disappointing, but I think we got screwed in the scheduling, because Minnesota was allowed to go to Dublin and play the Steelers, and London to play us, because they didn't have to come to Pittsburgh and Cleveland to play, because they didn't want to. Then they get 2 weeks there. We had to go there. They were already there for a week. We had to fly back and go to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh had their bye week right after. And we go like, well, we'll see if we can recover and play the Dolphins and beat them.
Sure.
Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins coach is on the hot seat too, so he's not safe. But
it's going to be an interesting game. I'll be there. You're going to be there. I know I'm going with my stepson Clay. So I wonder what the crowd will be like, if it's going to be a full house, or how that's going to look.
I don't know yet, but I wouldn't expect a lot of Dolphins fans to travel. There might be some.
With the team struggling like they are. There will be Dolphins fans. I know that they do.
There will be, but I don't think they'll be as vociferous as other ones.
What did you think of Dylan Gabriel's performance compared to the week one? Do you think that he got better?
I think he did all right. I mean, I think he did with what he could. I mean, he threw the ball way too many times, which I agree. You don't want him to do that.
It
But
was, yeah,
we
crazy.
were put in a position where we had to throw. No interceptions is good. So
Yeah. He had
he had
4
a
or 5 that were close. I know I went to I watched the game with some Steeler fans and family. And so that they were wishing that they had a couple interceptions.
66.3 is his quarterback rating. His
Okay.
completion percentage was low for him. It was about 56, but he had some drops too.
Did you see the little I no one I wonder if anybody asked him. There was one play where he got kind of hit late into the
Yeah,
groin
and
area
he
almost,
pushed and he did
and
something
he
with the guy, but yeah,
yeah. I
yeah.
wondered, no one ever mentioned that. I did see some video highlight of it. And I was just curious. I'd like to hear from him exactly. I tell you, Pittsburgh just plays dirty. I mean,
There were some dirty shots there.
Tomlin
It's
just teaches these guys how to play dirty, and I'll tell you, but Pittsburgh fans, and you talk to some of these folks that follow them, they really are like just tired of Mike Tomlin. Like
yeah,
they'll say, you can
because
have him if you want him. I'm like,
who did they let's go over who did they beat? They beat New England,
the
and New England
Jets,
basically gave them. They beat the Jets.
yeah,
They
and then they
and
beat
they beat us, and they beat coming off a bye week, and we were come back from London, and I think they beat the Panthers.
Did they beat? Was it the Panthers that they beat? There was some other team that wasn't. I mean, the teams that they've beaten have not been very good.
Yeah,
So,
let's see.
um,
They beat Minnesota.
yes, that's right. They played them,
They beat the Jets.
and
They
they
beat
needed
Minnesota. Yeah.
turnovers because coming into that game they had 10 turnovers. Our Browns game, they were one of the league leaders in turnovers with 10, but the Browns didn't turn the ball over. So
No,
good
we
job
didn't
to
turn the ball.
Cleveland.
We didn't fumble.
Nope.
That's good. I mean, let me ask you this because we were talking. I was talking about that reel from Jason Lloyd, thinking that
Yeah.
based on the actions and what the team's doing, is that they're setting up to build for success coming out of the gates in 2029 at the new
Yeah.
stadium. And he's talking about, hey, they traded a quarterback, they traded a veteran quarterback, they traded the cornerback,
Mhm.
and they made the draft day trade. That's a group of people in the front office and coaching staff that aren't panicking. They're not trying to make things happen.
Right. But it's just like one of those things, Lou, where they're doing that, and you all might be right, and Jason Lloyd might be right in that assessment. But
Well, I don't. I'm just thinking. I think it's partially right, but I think they can't just. They have to win something. They can't just not win. But go ahead.
no, I think and I'm figuring these, like you said, this first 6 game stretch for the Browns was brutal. We looked at this schedule, and
Mm-hmm.
some of us were saying if they can come out of it 2-4, then that'd be good. We're 1-5, which is, it seems a lot worse than 2-4, but
Yeah,
there's still some manageable games here. I mean, you could beat the Dolphins. You're 2-5. Then we go to New England.
New England. Then we have the bye, and then we go to the
Then you have the
Jets.
bye. Well, beating New England in New England could be tough. So let's say you beat the Dolphins and you lose to New England. So you're 2-6
Going
at
to
the
the
break,
bye.
which isn't like, it's not good, but it's at least you got 2 wins.
Okay.
And then you come back and you play the Jets. That has to be a win
You
on the road. You got to go to New York.
The Jets are the worst.
And
Yeah.
Miles Garrett can tee off on Justin Fields like he did when Justin Fields played for the Bears. Remember that game? Remember that effort by Miles Garrett? He had like 6,000.
negative 10 yards passing in their loss to the Broncos, and they almost had a chance to win.
Well, do you remember the Browns when they played the Bears a couple years ago with him? That
Yep.
was like the same thing. I think they
Yeah.
didn't let him have more than 50 yards of total offense. And I think he got sacked like 6,000 times.
Yeah. Oh, just so you know, the 6 sacks that Dylan Gabriel had, 3 of them were in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
3 of those sacks were in the fourth quarter, but go ahead.
No, like when you're talking about Dylan Gabriel, I guess the other thing that is interesting to me, and I was mentioning this when we were watching the game together with some of our family, Dylan Gabriel is small in
Yeah.
comparison to other players, and he's a lefty. And I don't know if it's because we're just not accustomed to seeing small and lefties usually in the NFL. It's taking like us as fans some time to get used to seeing and watching somebody like Dylan Gabriel after we've watched Joe Flacco, who's a ginormous giant, and some of these other guys that have come in between. I think that's, I don't know. I it's part of the visual of what we're dealing with, and I
He
know
was
it's,
essentially a 4th round pick, so I'm not
yeah.
too like hung up that this was first overall and this is going to be our franchise guy. I'd be like, wait a
No.
second.
Don't you think, like, somebody at my work today, I was working at school and they said maybe the Browns' intent was always when they drafted Dylan Gabriel, they're 99th percent, like they were sold on Dylan Gabriel, but they would make him like their like backup. Like he, and then Shador was still there, like we've talked about already, and they went ahead and sprung for Shador. But that all along the Browns' initial plan was just to get Dylan Gabriel as
Mhm.
like this backup, not like this franchise QB. And that's
No.
kind of what we're looking at, is this guy seeing what he can do. No one's been, you or I, we're not like overly excited about Dylan Gabriel. When you listen to other people and watch other people, listen to them talk about Gabriel, no one seems to be like, oh my God, he's going to lead us to a Super Bowl. So I'm anxious to see what they do with this, right? Because, how long do they give him? Do they let him play through the bye, Lou, and then
Um
bring in Shador?
that I don't know. I think it depends on how he does moving forward because these last 2 games were a tough ask for him
Yeah.
in the circumstances. So
Hmm.
I think it's based on how he does perform. But I think there's going to be a point where Shador does play and maybe and even starts. I think they just want to see what he can do, and it could be against Tennessee. I think, yeah, like I said, just so you know, other games after the Jets, we host Baltimore, and Baltimore
Yes.
has the same record we do, and they're just riddled with injuries.
True. And we
So
can usually beat them here in Cleveland. We have
we
beaten them a
usually
couple
can.
times.
Usually we can. So you got Baltimore. Then you go on to the next one. If I'm not mistaken,
Tennessee. No.
no, we got to Tennessee, but then we go to Oakland.
Yep.
Not Oakland, Las Vegas. Excuse me.
Sure.
Go to
Yeah.
Las Vegas. We've got San Francisco here,
Yep.
who's got injury problems. Then I think have Tennessee here. We go to Chicago. Got Buffalo here. Got Pittsburgh here,
Yeah,
and we
those are
go to
some late
Cincinnati.
season games where we could play spoiler, especially with a team like, we watched Buffalo
Buffalo's
right
losing to
now.
Atlanta right now. I mean,
Yes.
so Buffalo's vulnerable. I mean, New England beat Buffalo in Buffalo last Sunday night. I mean,
Yeah, and
New
now
England's
they're
a good
losing.
team.
Yeah, they're losing to Atlanta, and
So
hey, I want to
what if
show
they
this.
fired off like 5 or 6 more wins and we go 7 and whatever,
Yeah,
you
you
know?
could.
And we could and we win like 6 or 7 games this year. Are we going to
I
feel
mean,
better?
definitely the Dolphins game. If we lose the Dolphins game,
I
that's
almost
going to
feel,
be,
I hate to say it, I don't like to feel that way, but they just for the morale of the locker room, they need to win this game.
yes,
Does that make sense? Just to get
absolutely.
and score
Uh,
20 points and just get all this bullshit out of the way.
This is from Steve. He mentions this, which we kind of talked about a little bit, but I find this interesting. He said at the end, Junkins was in on 33 of 83 plays. Did you
Right.
see that?
Right. They abandoned
They
the run
abandoned the
game
run. Yeah.
when they were down 17 at the end of the
And then Steve
yeah.
also says they lost 2 very winnable games in Cincinnati and Minnesota. Very true, Steve. So he's suggesting
Mhm.
that he's not a good coach. And that's been talked about a lot today, not just by us, Lou, but by a lot of people out there in La La Land, in social media.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to
Um,
criticize the coach when he doesn't win. That's fine.
yeah, it
I
is what it
mean,
is. What do you think about the offense besides Dylan Gabriel, the wide receivers, Jerry Judy,
Jerry
the
Judy
pass
needs to
he
get his shit
dropped,
together.
the
He needs to get
pass
his
that he
shit
dropped in the
together.
first half. I mean, my God, like
He had a
that
stupid
was
penalty too that yeah.
Harold
Yeah.
Fannin dropped a big play kind of late in that
Mhm.
game. Uh, I don't want to
There's
really
some drops.
criticize. He's a rookie, but it was a
Yeah.
really nicely thrown pass from by Dylan Gabriel that he just dropped. And at least you could tell that Harold Fannin was pissed off with himself for dropping it. So I mean, where do we go with our, like, how do you see us scoring more points? How are we going to do that? What would you be telling Stefanski and the
Well,
offensive people? What would you be telling them, or how would you try to get these
feed
guys to?
feed feed Judkins.
Okay,
Feed Judkins. Yeah, feed Judkins, have him be your leading bell cow back. Work in Jerome Ford actually had a pretty good game. He did pretty good.
He
Work
did.
work in Jerome Ford, but get Dylan Sampson more involved too. And I said, like, it seems like the offense is kind of vanilla right now, and
Mhm.
because of the rookies, and they're just trying to
That's a good
ease them
observation,
in.
Lou. Too. I agree with you on that
Yeah.
point. He is a rookie, and I think sometimes this goes to back to what we were talking about in watching quarterbacks and somebody like Joe Flacco,
Hmm.
who's a very experienced QB. Despite, I mean, our offense looked like was stuck in the mud with him as well. But you
Yeah.
might be onto something there too, that they aren't really opening the playbook for him. There were only, they said, 4 passes that Dylan Gabriel threw beyond
Right.
10 yards in all 52 passes, Lou. There were only 4 passes that he threw beyond 10 yards. You know,
Yeah, he didn't have time to throw.
well, and that's, so how do you, like, because that was an issue. Like, you don't have time to
Yeah, it
throw,
was
and
an
then
issue. It
you
was
had
an
to
issue. Yeah.
abandon the run because they were stacking the box. So what the hell are we gonna do?
Well, you hope to get healthier, and you hope that because Conklin left the game with a concussion,
Yeah.
and Robinson got rolled up on, but he walked off the field, which makes me feel pretty good about that. But I haven't. There's no injury statuses yet, so that was. I listened to Stefanski's press conference today, and I was like, "Oh, he's at a press conference. He's still employed." So
Yes, yes, I
that's
said
what
the
I was
same.
thinking.
Right. Yeah.
And
Okay. So let me
let's
switch
do this.
gears. Yeah.
Yeah, I
What
was
do you
going to
want to? Yeah.
say Miami. Um, let's see. Cleveland has 92 points forced and 146 points allowed. Okay, we do. Miami has 134 points scored and 174 points allowed.
Okay.
So they are 0-3. They haven't won on the road yet. They won one game at home. They're on a 2-game losing streak like we are.
Mm-hmm.
So they give up points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Well,
they
and it was
do.
surprising. Like yesterday, the Steelers were giving up 120 yards on the ground,
Hmm.
going into that game, and
Hmm.
we didn't have any sort. I was surprised we couldn't establish a better run game. But like
They
you said, we
were
had
they were
some
playing
injuries.
the run. They were playing the run. We had
Yep.
some injuries.
Yep.
They were playing the run, and also they weren't afraid of Dylan Gabriel at all.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't,
Right.
and that's why when they went to the play action, it's just like, oh well, blocks weren't holding up. So the
Right.
play action is supposed to help on that, or
So
screen passes.
Miles
It was like
Garrett.
they did a screen pass and it got blown up. But go ahead.
No, Miles Garrett. I just want to switch topic on the defense because
Hmm.
some people are talking about what Miles Garrett said. Some of his short comments yesterday, just expressing kind of, you know,
He's frustrated.
frustration. Yeah,
Yeah, good,
it's
good,
right after the game. So, I mean,
good.
are you still feeling confident in your defense moving
Yeah,
forward against
good. I
the
want them
Dolphins?
frustrated. They
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be happy. What do you want them to be? All sunshine and rainbows after this shit? No. Get
No.
mad. Get angry. Get out there and get to it. Get back to work. Yeah, good. I'm glad. He's frustrated. We all are.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
I
fine
just,
with that.
a lot of people are looking at Miles Garrett, and some people want him to be this leader, and I don't know if he has that label. Like, people don't consider him to be like a leader, and I don't know.
Well,
I just want,
what would make you sense that? What would make you know that?
well, I don't know that for sure. I'm saying that he when he talks in some of these, over, like, think about this, like, Lou, over the years that he's been here, there have been other situations, right? Haven't there? Remind me if I'm going down the wrong path here, but I do recall that there have been time or two where Miles hasn't always agreed with Stefanski, or at least
I
shared.
don't remember any of that.
No, okay. There
No.
seemed to be a
No.
few. Okay,
He wanted to get traded because he was going to chase a ring somewhere and he had no leverage. So
okay.
and he
Well,
stayed.
there
He
was
signed his
that
contract.
yesterday. His just the comments after losing,
Somebody
obviously.
reminds me if I'm missing something. Somebody remind me.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I guess it's just over the years, Miles Garrett was one of those guys where he's there, he's a great, talented player. You just watch him on the sidelines and you listen to him sometimes after the game, and you feel on one hand like I feel bad for the guy because he's playing for this team that's struggling to win, and he's expressed how he's wanted to chase the ring and try to get a Super Bowl. So you really wonder because this whole thing about I think how didn't it come up with something about like Joe Thomas, playing here all those years and never winning anything, and how he kind of had expressed frustration. I don't know. It just seems like everybody's getting a little bit more frustrated.
which is
And
fine, and that's why you
how
need to
much
win on Sunday.
yeah.
That's why you need to win on Sunday. That's just. I mean, it's. I hate this. I didn't mean to cut you off, John. Sorry.
No, no, you didn't cut me off at all. I just um he had one tackle, but he's always double team and triple team. And that was the thing, is like on the opposite end, you see this TJ Watt. By the way, his brother was doing the broadcast, which was a little bit annoying. But TJ,
The league purposely fucks with us. Okay.
yeah,
Now, did we have the choice to get a bye after coming back from London?
yes.
And we chose not to do it.
I
So it's
don't
okay.
know
Well,
exactly. Yeah, I'm not sure. But
because that's
TJ
they
Watt,
just want to they just needle us is what they
wasn't that
do.
like one of the first times, Lou, you can remember in a Pittsburgh game recently where TJ Watt had that much of a factor? Because really, Dewan Jones and the Browns
When
offense,
James Hudson was at right tackle,
yeah,
yeah, same against Baker Mayfield, which all the Baker Mayfield people.
yeah,
Let me just tell you something, okay? Because somebody sent me a reel about when Colin Cowherd was saying he should just retire and do college
yeah,
analysis.
yeah,
And Stephen A. Smith was saying it's over for him because Stephen A.
yeah.
Smith doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
No,
But I remember the posts. I remember the tweets. I remember all the commentary, all the memes, all the stuff 4 years ago.
yeah,
Now you dipshits want them back.
right,
I mean, seriously, no, seriously, you know who you are. I'm
yeah,
calling you out. You know who you are.
right,
I didn't do that. I don't do that.
yeah,
I have something called integrity. Now you're going to make fun of Dylan Gabriel for being short, or you're going to call for Stefanski to be fired. Then if he gets successful somewhere else, like, why didn't we keep him? Because you stupid fucks like you. That's why.
yeah,
Now let's get something else straight too. He's gone. Okay. The
right,
same people that were complaining that we didn't draft Jackson Dart #2 overall, guess what? We wouldn't have Mason Graham. We wouldn't have Quinshawn Junkins. We wouldn't have a first round pick next year.
yeah.
But we'd have Jackson Dart, who had 3 turnovers against the Saints this
Oh, I'm not a
season.
Jackson Dart fan. No,
No, I'm not
he had
either.
he had
People
one
see
game.
something, they're like,
That
"Oh, I
team
want that."
still sucks. They're 2-4. They got to win on a Thursday night. Don't blow it out of proportion. Everybody here in Cleveland was blowing it out of proportion Friday. Going, oh
Mhm.
my God, we should have taken Jackson Dart. No, we don't
Yeah,
need Jackson
that's
Dart.
they're so like fickle minded. It's disgusting. So the thing is, just for the morale of the fans and the team, and for everybody involved here, a win Sunday is like much needed.
It would be like, yes, candy.
It would be water in an oasis. Okay, it would be water in the
Steve
desert. It'd
says
be an oasis.
he going back to Miles. He says he's not a very good vocalier. Don't see him saying stuff to players during games like some others do. And that I mean I think that's kind of. And I
Okay.
know. Listen, Miles has done a lot of good, Lou. I mean I'm not going to say he
Yeah,
hasn't.
yeah. That's it. We got to get rid of him. Yeah, get rid of
Well,
him.
yeah. I think it's just everybody is just seeing all these little things, and when you're frustrated and the team's
You're
losing,
fucking nitpicking, is what you're doing.
yeah,
Let's just call it what it is. They're fucking nitpicking. They're trying to
yeah,
find every little thing wrong and point to it, say, we need to do this, we need to do that.
yeah.
You're frustrated and you're nitpicking. Just
Yeah,
stop it.
well, now we just need to win.
Yeah, we need to
we-
win. That's all
We
it
need
is.
to win. I think there's gonna. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of. Well, it's gonna be interesting being a home game. We'll all be there. It
Mhm.
should be some good weather, and hopefully this team can,
Yeah, it's supposed to be nice. It's
some,
supposed to be a
get
nice
some
October day.
scores early. Maybe get Quinson Junkins loose on a run or two early in the game.
Not get a
Um,
holding penalty to call it back. Yeah, that'd be nice. Let's do this. Let's do this too. Let's do this too. Did you ever see the movie Bull Durham with Kevin Costner and Tim Robbins?
I've seen it, not like all the way through. I'm
There's a
one of
part in the beginning when he's mentoring the kid,
uh-huh.
and he said, "Hey, your shower shoes, they got crud all over them. You got to clean
Yeah.
them." He goes, "If you win 10 in the show, you
Yeah.
have this, you're colorful. Until you win 10 in the show, you're a slob."
Yeah. Right.
So when you're winning, everything changes.
Yes.
That's it. So we
Well,
just
and
got to win.
I talk about this too, and I'm a, I was going back to Baker for a quick second, and
Sure.
I went on kind of a rant the other day on Thursday with Steve and Sam, and you might disagree with me. You probably will, because this is stirring the pot. But I wasn't really. I was not impressed with this whole thing with Baker and all of what's going on right now. That in Baker addressed it, and I'm not. This is not a pro Baker thing at all. What I'm getting at here is that he spoke about how he's still the hothead that he was before, but because, like you said, Lou, because when teams win, no one kind of nitpicks, right? His little outburst, and I know you're an athlete and you were a wrestler and stuff, but he had a little bit of a incident a couple weeks ago before a game, not this past week, but the week before, where he got into a shouting match with a fan, and I can understand a little bit of the competitiveness there, but I didn't like his use of language and what he actually said specifically. It,
Mhm.
so those are the little things where I get annoyed. It's like I'm trying to I root for, like, I'm not a fan of Baker, but, like, I want him to see he's having some success. Good for him. I'm not one of those people, Lou, that want him to come back either. I don't want him coming back to Cleveland. And because Lou and I have already pointed this out many times, we wanted him out of town. There was a lot of things going on back then. So fast forward to what's happening now. I mean, he's getting a lot of fame in the NFL because his team is winning, but he's still a jackass. He still says things that I think are very inappropriate. And considering all this stuff that he talks about with his family, and he has a new baby now. He talks about all these other things in his life. I thought it was very careless of him. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. There was that little shouting match he got in. Do you know what I'm talking about, Lou? It
I
it
didn't
was
see it.
it
I
was
didn't see it.
before the game 2 weeks ago when they played. Um, I can't remember who Tampa Bay played. Anyway, yeah,
Well, they
Baker
played San
Mayfield.
Francisco Sunday. Yeah, and they're
Yeah, it was
chanting
the week
MVP
before.
at
It was
him.
the week before that. It's just the idea, like you said, Lou. It's just when teams are winning, and Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay are winning, great. But Steve Gill, our colleague here at the Fanatical Owls, pointed out in his show this morning, Lou. He said it's great that Baker's having success, but Baker needs to learn how to win a playoff game, and needs to learn if he wants to get to or he
Yeah.
can win a playoff game, but he needs to learn how to, if he wants to get to a Super Bowl, he needs to learn how to
Yeah.
limit mistakes, because Baker still makes mistakes because
Well,
he's
I
that kind
remember
of,
that Christmas Day game in Green Bay.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, people have a selective memories. I mean, they don't remember how when he after that bad Detroit game, he just disappeared and didn't talk to the
Yes.
media.
Let's talk about,
Yeah.
yeah, the Lions game.
Yeah,
I remember
I was
that.
at
That
that
was,
game. I was at that game. I was like, and I remember listening to the radio. Mary Kay's like, "There is a problem. He just left,"
yeah.
and it was just like I remember. So
Yeah, it's selective and it's nitpicking, like you've said. So, well, anyway, we're going to try to win a game here on Sunday, aren't we, Lou? Well, we aren't, but the
well,
team is.
we'll be there. Moral
Yeah.
support. No, we'll be there. Like I said, it's like let's see how this season, because I just saw a headline on a tweet from Tony Grossi, and I didn't click on the link. It's what did it say? On second thought, Stefanski's seat got a lot hotter after last 24 hours. So I don't know what information he has, but that's the first time I saw
Oh.
somebody
Uh-oh, we're
saying
going to
that.
get rain now. Steve says, "Oh, yuck. Don't tell me that,
Well,
Steve."
let's see that. Yeah, I'm covered where I'm at, so I'm good.
I'm not, but
Yeah, have fun.
The Seattle game was Baker incident. Oh, the Seattle. That's right, Steve. Yeah, it was. They were in Seattle, and there was a Seattle fan, and he was just being a jerk, and the fan was being a jerk, but it was just the certain words that Baker used, which I just thought was like, come on, dude, like you can cuss
Let
him
me see
out
if
if
I
you
can.
want, but he cussed him out, and then he used a couple other words that I just, considering everything, I don't know. That's just
You got
me.
to have a
So
subscription to read this, but it says based on the last 24 hours, Stefanski's seat got a lot hotter, and that
okay,
was done 3 hours ago. So,
yeah. Well, and I think
so
it just
that
goes back to they got to win. I mean, if they drop this game, the Dolphins, now they've opened up as a 2 or 3 point favorite, which is good. Um,
so is that where
because
they're at?
Vegas knows everything, Lou, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, hang on.
Well, you want to
Okay, it's
wrap things
21.
up, Lou?
Yeah, let me just take a look at the point spread right now from what I could see. But it was the land on demand. Grossi says Stefanski's
Okay,
seat got a lot hotter. I
okay.
mean, but I mean, that's what he's saying. So we'll see what they mean by that. Let me take a quick look. See, hang on,
Okay.
and
We're watching the end of the Atlanta Falcons and
yeah, they're
Buffalo
two and a
game.
half point favorites. They're 2.5 point favorites
Okay.
according to Yahoo.
Looks like
So yeah, so that's pretty much saying it. I think the team played lethargic
hmm
based on the travel schedule for the last 2 weeks. Um, and it just seems like it was really difficult for them to do it. Let's see what they do
Yeah.
moving forward. Let's just see what they do, guys, because the only control we have is how we handle it. So
hmm Yeah.
what we do. But yeah, I
I wonder
appreciate
if
it.
there'll
No, I
be any
appreciate
more
I,
trades. You think there'll be any more trades this week?
I'm hearing that. I'm hearing that too. I don't know about this week, but the trade deadline's like 3 weeks away.
Okay.
I don't see Njoku going. Could you imagine if you traded Njoku, Posick, Batonio, and Teller, you're trading 4
You're
offensive
not, but
starters.
Tonio, that was the one that like Steve Gill and I were talking about. That's just ridiculous. Somebody who just created that list. Batonio is going to retire. He doesn't want. He's not going anywhere else.
Yeah, unless
He's
somebody
not
wants
going
to rent
anywhere.
a guard for
Joe
a sixth
Batonio
round
doesn't going to
pick.
leave Cleveland. I just cannot. I'm 99% convinced that would not happen. But
Yeah.
I've been wrong before, Lou. So
Yeah, so have I. I've been wrong before
so,
too. I think, yeah, let's just see how the rest of the season plays out.
yeah,
I also heard that the Jets' first year coach, he's 0-6,
yeah,
and yeah, and how Tennessee won that game was a complete fluke in Arizona. So
yeah. And
I
they just
don't think-
fired their coach. So maybe we
they
get
just
Bill
fired the
Callahan to come back, right? Maybe he could come out
yeah.
and help us
Well,
out with the offensive
let's set the
line.
record straight. People were saying that we fired Bill Callahan. No, we did
No,
not.
no.
No. I don't know where, but they let him. They let him leave because he wanted to go be with his son,
Yep,
and we accommodated him. That's
yep,
all it was. So we
absolutely.
could say, yeah, they let him go, but whatever.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you. No, and
Thank you.
also I'll see you Friday night. I'll be on with Posh. We'll be previewing the game, talking more stadium stuff. We'll be doing that, and
Yeah.
probably we'll have injury updates by then, so we'll know more about Conklin and Cam Robinson. I'm hoping they have the starting tackles for the game. So they
That
got
would
to
be
figure
good.
it out.
Just looking
Yeah,
forward
they
to
got to
getting them
figure it out.
down there to the stadium.
Yeah.
I'll be a fan. I'm not going to be in the press box, so I'll get to scream and yell and shout. So
Yes, please do. Be loud, be proud. We're there.
go Browns.
Go Browns. We're not going anywhere. So let's just and I think too, I'm glad with the stadium deal, the team's not going anywhere. I went through what I went through in 95. It's never going to happen
Yep.
again.
Yep. Oh, and thank you for
So.
the Lou's little spiel last week. Hit fire on our TikTok page. Thanks for all of you people that listen to
Oh,
Lou's.
yeah. Some people actually, one guy, well, did we win? Who played yesterday in Pittsburgh? What team was that?
Yeah.
What team was that? The Baltimore Browns or was that
No.
the Cleveland Browns?
That's right.
It was the Cleveland
Yep.
Browns.
Yep.
Same team with the same records with Jim Brown, same records that Paul Brown, same records that Otto Graham, going all the way back to 1946. It was the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
We fought to keep that team and we won. So yes, we did. What we did was we got screwed by the league with that shitty expansion deal and that shitty stadium deal.
Mhm.
Yes. So now we're working our way out of it, but that sets you back for almost 2 or 3 decades when you do something like that.
Yeah.
It does. It
We've had
does.
a few things happening over the last couple years
Yeah.
too that have set us back
Mhm.
a little bit. So
Yeah.
Well, we're
Another
going to get a
Watson
win
deal.
Sunday. Everybody focus on that. Have a good rest of your week. Thanks for joining us here on the Fanatical Elves Network, part of Fans First Sports. And a shout out to Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. They shake the hand of the farmer. Check out our link on the X page. Good night, everybody. Go Browns.
Good night. Go Browns.